All right. Hello, hello, hello. We just got a nice little chill stream. I'm gonna practice making Pokemon Miis for the Pocket Survivals. Oh, they don't have to be, because when Tomodachi Life comes out, I'm gonna be doing an island of Pocket Survival characters. So I want to try to get a better hang of making Miis on Tomodachi Life that are Pokemon. uh, I'm willing to do Pokemon that haven't been on the season, but preferably Pokemon that have been on the season. Kinda what I'm looking at there. But yeah, I'll take anything. People are going to be allowed to suggest if they wish. If there are no suggestions, that's what this is for. I've put all the Pokemon from seasons 1 through 4 into a little random list generator. We'll go down, see the top 5, and we'll select from there. This is probably how we're going to pick our first Pokemon. As for the game, I'm very excited for the game. I've played through the demo twice. I've played through the demo twice, and I've started a third. I've made 9 Miis. They were all, not 9 Miis, 7 Miis. And they weren't all just, like, generic, normal human Miis. I was, like, actively trying to make Pokemon. Hi, Zeka. Welcome to stream. Hope you're having a good day. This little image in the bottom right, I'm going to replace that with whatever Pokemon we're working on. 'Cause that's fair. I made a new account because I already have all the saves on all of these, and we're going to be basically starting at the beginning of the demo, but I'm not going to lock in the first Mii. We're just going to, like, completely make it, and then we're going to reset, start from scratch to make new ones. It's time to make our Miis go to war. Yeah. Hi, Joker. Zeka's going to PRV. Joker, how about, since you're here, if you're going to still be here, you could just pick a Pokemon. Because I'm just practicing on making Pokemon for Tomodachi Life. So if you want, you can suggest a Pokemon. If not, I'll just pick a random one from the list of characters that have competed on Pocket Survivor. Any Pokemon? Well, preferably not something insanely, like, difficult, but I can try. I'll try it pretty much anything. The way I've been making Pokemon is I haven't been using touchpad. I haven't been freehanding. I've been using controller. Which is probably not the most ideal. I've been using the control stick. Luxray? Luxray is a fantastic first choice. Luxray, we also have had a Luxray on Pocket Survival. You're actually the person that submitted them. So let me find a picture of a Luxray that I can put in the bottom and here and get set up. I would love to do Luxray, though. Luxray is awesome. Luxray is actively one of my favorite Pokemon. It's going to be hard to find one that's front-facing. This is probably the closest thing I'm going to find. Alright, I'm getting the image now. This is straight from the anime. Hell yeah. Getting a nice close-up on the face. Starting with Luxray is going to be awesome. I love Luxray. And it's updated. We're going to kick off with Luxray. Luxray has been on Pocket Survival. They were in the form of, I'm pretty sure their name was Xavier. And fun fact, they were second boot in Pocket Survival 2. They got idled out very quickly. We're gonna get yelled at all the tutorial stuff probably quite a bit, but I don't care. North America, yes. Not Xavier. Not Xavier. They went out real quick. Okay. Ah, come on. I'm practically a Tomodachi Life speedrunner. I'm so peak at the game. Anything would do.
Good vibes island. My
Uh,
Dollhouse Island.
Oh god. Yeah, just anything goes island. Yep. Okay. Now, the hope is that I could just easily, like, back out to completely reset something. Okay. Now, this isn't the best picture, I don't think. Island of Island. That would have been funny. Okay, let's see what we got here. He doesn't have... He actually does have, like, a bit of a, like, a that face. Not the head shape, I mean. We gotta go with... Yeah, we gotta go with the... black. Something like... Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, because it's not like a pitch black color. It's very close to it, but it's not like pitch black. Now, obviously, most of this is going to be done through the painter, but we could try to get some hair stuff done over here. We could actually get a decent chunk of stuff done on our end here. His hair is definitely more wild than that. Let's go do it like this. So we could get it more customized. Definitely not. Something like that stands up a lot more. Heck, could work. I was thinking top row number 4. Like up here. Oh, do you mean the color? No, you were definitely talking about the hair and I'm being stupid. You mean this one? Well, first off, let's get the right color. So that it's a little easier to visualize. Did you mean like this? And obviously we can alter the back to make it look a bit better. Okay. As in the 4th row. So 4th row. 4th from the 4th row, like... it could work. It's a little low. I guess I could always add stuff in, again, in post if necessary. So 4th row, number 4. It could work. It could work. It could work. Okay. More wild, like a main like that. That, honestly, that low-key actually fits quite a bit. This, like, main. Okay. I see this is fitting. And it's completely black. So we don't gotta worry about that. We're not gonna worry about eyebrows. We almost never have to worry about eyebrows for pretty much almost all Pokemon. You do you. These are after all your Miis. Well, to be fair, none of these are actually gonna get like saved. But that is fair. Now we're not gonna be able to do much in the way of coloring for the eyes. We're just gonna kind of have to work with what we can. And Luxray has very particular eyes that we're just not going to be able to replicate. So we're just going to have to do the best that we can and hope. There's like a little line thing we could do, but it doesn't really fit. Oh, that is actually just the line. Yeah. Okay. Intriguing. I mean, I can't make it black. Kind of the issue. Yeah, I don't think that'll work. Also, these eyes just aren't the best for this. It's good that we aren't using this game for our actual family and friends, just fictional characters. Yeah. I know my plan is to have, like, a few islands, but they're all pretty much going to be fictional characters. God. Yeah, I could, like, paint, like, a red circle around it. And that, but the thing is, obviously, it won't look like an eye. It'll just be, like, a red circle around the eye. You can have more than one island? Yeah, so, unlike Animal Crossing, where it's one island per system, this game is one island per profile. So each profile is its own separate island. So you can have as many islands as you have profiles on your Nintendo Switch. Which is good. Okay. Already game of the year, I think so. I could do this and then fill in the inside with red. That'll work, actually. Yeah, that'll work. He's got a little bit of a... Honestly, he's got, like, a line. He's got this! Oh my god, it's literally him. It's literally him. I just have to paint a little bit of red on it. Literally his nose. Maybe a little big. I can make it smaller. There we go. Literally his nose now. Mouth. There aren't a lot of mouths that work for the Pokemon, unfortunately. So a lot of it is going to be like just testing and trial and error and stuff. It's just picking whatever feels right in the moment. There isn't a whole lot to... That wouldn't work. There isn't too much to work with. There isn't too much... that could work. That works for, like, a cat kind of guy. Mouth's a little smaller, though. Oh, we gotta get, like, a beard, I realized. Where can I get beard? That would be... here. Yeah, he's gotta have a beard. It's kind of, like, short in the middle, but then whenever you turn it around, it gets big. He's got, like, a big mane. It's not connecting to the hair, which is a little unfortunate. I could also just paint the little beard part on if I'm not too satisfied with what these look like. Which admittedly I'm not super satisfied. I feel like this along with the face paint's gonna look a little jarring, but I guess it could work. This would be the closest. This would be the closest overall. But even then it doesn't jut in quite enough. Okay, wait, here we go. There's these painted versions. This could work. This could work. This literally works. Oh, yeah, that is kind of the... Yeah, that would happen, huh? Huh, that would happen. Yeah, I'll just paint it on. Alright. Ooh, actually, I think I have to lower some stuff a little bit. Like, just a bit. just so it's like a little closer. So we're gonna have to do the blue. Yeah. Does he really look like that? I'd want to vote him off the island too. He's not done. Yeah, no, this ain't enough. I'm going pro. All right. How do we go about this? Well, we got to start by getting the blue in. And first I got to get the correct blue in the first place. Yeah, this is probably it. It's really close already, so might as well consider it correct. Okay. So that's already branching out more than I thought it would. Well, we know that it kind of goes from here. So we'll bridge it around here. And then jut out a tiny bit. Now we're going to use mirroring to get this exactly right. So I'm not too worried about getting it perfect the first try. Okay, and that is the slight inherent issue with this. Is that depending on where you do it, it will jut through the hair, which we do not want. For his big ass ears, we do not really want that going through the thing, but I guess we can't really avoid it. Like, oh no, that gets too thin. He's got to have really thin ears. Like that. Yeah, I'm gonna draw on the black at the end. Hi, Skelly. Welcome to stream. There we go. That works. Okay, great. They go around the nose anyway already. That's pretty good. Can't wait for the full release of this game. Same. Let's get the fill tool. Bang. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not very good, but it's not very bad. Gotta get a little circle in the ear. That yellow was way too bright. It's got to be a bit paler. Yeah, I think that works. Damn it. Okay. I don't want to just use the oval tool, but I probably should just use the oval tool. Especially if I'm gonna fuck up. I think I made it a bit too big. Yeah, it's too big. That works, that works. And we gotta get some of the, black paint in. Oh, let's get the, let's get the red, eye. I didn't think through that fill. That was a bad idea. I shouldn't have filled it in. Like that. So I already kind of fucked up a bit. Because it goes too far in. It's gotta just go around the eye. Okay. From here. Yeah, from here, let's go back over to here. And let's see if we can't get this eye correct. We're going a little bit over, but we can just erase. Now, obviously, this red part of the eye, it's not going to blink. But I think that's fine. I think we've sort of made sure that this isn't actually, like, the back of the eye, but it's more like just red. I consider this more like skin behind the eye, as opposed to being, you know, the iris of the eye. I can make it a little bigger. There we go. Hey, that's pretty good. And then let's get the skin. Because we do gotta do some black. We do gotta add some black. Part of the idea is pretty much... Oh, this doesn't look correct at all. Well, too bad. Part of the idea is I'm gonna fill all of this in. Bang. Okay. So, that's how the fill tool works. Oh, also, I just didn't have everything filled in. I thought I had enough to use the fill tool, but I lied. There we go. Yeah, that is off from the correct color. Which is crazy, because that literally using the skin color that it says. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Close enough. Looks like that's right. Thank you very much. I'm not very good at this, so I do appreciate that quite a bit. I don't think this would look better with a beard. Whenever I used the beard before, it looked like it would have been so bad. But now as I'm looking at it, I'm like, damn, maybe it would look better with the beard. And now I'm conflicted and scared. Anyways, we only own this one so far, or others? So I have used the Mii creator a little bit already on different islands, but today I'm like just making Miis because I'm trying to get a better hang of it and do better practice. So that's what today is about. But I have made some other Miis before for some other islands in the game. But they aren't very good. they aren't very good. I regret that so much. Nope, it's peak. It's peak. Chat, it definitely works. All right. I mean, all that's left is to mirror this. And I recently found out this really cool mirroring tactic. Because usually before, you'd have to really try your best to match it. But if you do it like this, and then you go and you grab everything, and you press the copy, and you get it like this. So that's perfectly correct. You just hit that flip. Bang. Boom. I have to correct a little bit of stuff, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, I do gotta fix a little bit of stuff, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I definitely should have done a normal beard, I think. I'm beginning to realize. Let's make this bigger. Please. Boom. Boom. Honestly, the really best way to judge it. Ooh, that's not good. That looked bad down there. Let's paint a little to correct it. Oop. There we go. That could work. That could work. That could legitimately be okay. Okay. Let's look at this outside from an outside perspective. Okay, that does match much more. And as I'm looking at it, it's not bad. I'm starting to think it might be better to do a painted nose than the in-game nose, though. I think that's the only part that I'm a bit iffy about, is that full-on nose kind of makes everything look a bit off. Yeah, we're gonna do a painted nose instead. I think that's the only part. That's the only part that I'm like, Yes, I know. Thank you. They get painted out. Yeah, for sure. Plus, then we can get that little bit of red from the nose in there. And then I'll probably help bring it out a little bit as well. Ah. I think it just needs that red as well. Let's get this a little bit smaller so we can be a little more exact. Because there's like very little red. I gotta be pretty dead on. Not too far. It's a little long. I gotta shorten it up. It's like, it's... it's a little phallic. It's fine, we got it. We'll get it. Oh, that's perfect. I vibe with that quite a bit. All right. All right. It came out better than I thought it was gonna. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I'll take it. Any day of the week, I will take it. That's our first of the night. Let me get a screenshot of that because we're not gonna be saving this and me, unfortunately. Only gonna be able to drop it right here in our server so that it is saved. So the image of it is saved. So I knew what I was kind of going for. We're gonna drop them all in our Pocket Survival Discord server so that we will be able to see them forever. And also they will be on stream, so we'll be able to see them forever. And eventually I'll upload this to my VODs channel whenever I'm not so bad at uploading VODs. All right, well, that's Luxray. That's Xavier. We got this. Would there be some changes I would make on a second go around? Probably a little bit. I'd probably make those little spikes in the middle a bit bigger. That's probably it. Overall, I think this is pretty good. Pretty good first Pokemon. I'm just getting a bit more of a hang of how all this works. But I like this first. I like this first one. All right. Now, if I hit exit without finalizing me, exit. Temporarily save the me? No, don't save. Does this close the game entirely? Nope. And then I hit from scratch and we're back. New me. All right. We have finished with Luxray. His likeness is posted in the Discord forever for anyone who wants to see. But next we have to pick another Pokemon. Mimikyu next? Oh yeah, I could do a Mimikyu next. 1 second. Someone else reacted to this but didn't get the roll. Skeleton. Why did it not give... Oh no, there he is. There's someone who reacted to this but they didn't get the roll for some reason. Or am I miscounting and being dumb? I'm miscounting and being dumb. Okay, great. All right. Mimikyu. Let me find a good picture of Mimikyu. This one, honestly, should be pretty easy because we can ignore almost everything. As long as we put a painted face on this boy, we're technically correct. This is also not a boy. It's a Stella, who is famously not a boy. I'm gonna try it back on later. All right, sounds good. This is a Stella. I'm pretty sure from season 4. So we do not know her fate yet. We will find that out in due time. Do I include the real eyes? I should. But it'd have to be like all the way at the bottom and it'd have to only be the eyes. So we're going to do that. And I will hit save and bang. We are now working on Estella, which also means I need to back out because Estella is not this. Estella is this. I can't say too much about Estella because again, Estella season 4 has not been streamed or anything yet. Is a future character. Hell yeah. Got that rounded face. No, we can make it like tall. You can make it a tall rounded. There we go. This could kind of work if we make the eyes small and put them all the way on the bottom. We don't have to do any hair. This actually might be one of the easiest ones. Now, another thing about this is we're not going to be able to see... No, we do need eyes. They could be really small. They could be like... No, they gotta be like tall boy kind of eyes. A little bit. Kind of like this if it wasn't like that. I could rotate them so that they're like that. Oh, well, nope, I guess I can't. I lied. Considering these are going to be the true eyes. This is the true eyes that we're going for right now. Yeah, it seems the best we could do is like that. That doesn't really work. Okay, well that's as far down as they can be brought. If that's as far down as they can be brought, we might have to adjust the face a little bit to be a bit smaller. Because the hope was to put them like all the way down. But if we really can't, then we gotta adjust the head shape. That'll do. All right. Now here's the weird thing is now I have to do this kind of scribble looking thing that I'm not gonna be able to do very well. Yeah, that works. It's really big. And another thing is also there's got to be some asymmetry, so we cannot rely on mirror tool here. We gotta do this different. I made that eye a little too big. Okay. And then we make this a little bigger to do the mouth. And then we gotta get like a slightly darker version of this orange. And also a little paler. Something around here. And we gotta do the blush. Which I probably should have done before the mouth, I'm realizing. Now, it looks like the way this was drawn was... Oh, thank you, Parker, for the follow. I very much appreciate it. Huh. I don't know why that didn't make... Oh, I turned the follow noise off, right? That's unfortunate. I should probably turn that back on. It looks so bad. Okay. Because we gotta... It's also a little more vibrant than that. Probably a little more like here. This is the hard thing, because you can tell with how it was made, we gotta make it into, like, a circle. But, like, it's like they drew from right to left going down in the form of a circle. And that's gonna be pretty tough to get right. I guess I could just use D-pad. It'll be a little more annoying, but it does make the most sense. Oh. You can cover it up. Have a little accent. And then we start to make it smaller again. Yep, exactly like that. Exactly like that. Exactly. That's exactly how I was hoping that would look. That does look a bit better. It's still not very good. Oh, you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna make a line going down on each side. And a line going across on each side. We're gonna use planning to make this look more scribbled. So now that we know the general size... One second, some stuff fell. I'm trying to get it back up. Alright, great. Now that we know the general size... You make Lycanroc, Dustform, or Ninetales, or my favorite Zora. You could pick one. Alright, yeah, I'll do one of those next. Of those three... Yeah, I'll do Zoroark for you since they're your favorite. I'll do Zoroark. Since I also need to learn how to do a Zoroark anyway for the island I'm planning on doing. So this actually works so well. So we'll do Zoroark next. That looks a little more correct. Also, it still looks more vibrant than what I've got. I need it slightly more vibrant again. But I could just do bang. Look at that. Look at that. Bang. Yes. And I want white form. Ooh, okay. I could do white form. That also works. But both sides work for me. Okay. I'm gonna have to do the ears, huh? I just thought about that. That's something I'm gonna have to do. Okay, it doesn't look the best, but I'll take it. Now I gotta do the ears. How the hell am I gonna do these ears right? Well, first let's get the skin color. Oh, I never even got the correct skin color. That doesn't help. I skipped over everything except I didn't get the right skin color. It's like a bit more yellow than this. It's not much different than this. It's like a paler yellow. Not that yellow. No, no. Okay. Well, that might actually be the best option. Is what it's starting to look like. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. So it's a little more pronounced of a yellow than what it is, but we'll take it. All right. Well, ears should actually not be that hard. Just do whoop. Whoop. Ooh, you know what? I can make it look like it's threaded in. Because that is technically the appeal. Or like the distinction sort of deal of Mimikyu. So I could take some of this white. And we can make it look like it's been like threaded in by doing like a... It doesn't completely match what Mimikyu is supposed to be. But it makes the little ear parts look a little bit more natural. They should probably be thinner. Because I know that in the game, these would look so much more pronounced. So if we do it like this, where it looks like it's been threaded in, it fits a little more naturally to the appeal of it. There we go. That. And there. That looks like it's been threaded in. And that does look actually pretty alright. And the ears are bad. The ears are not very good. Ears are not very good. But with the size limitations I have, that might be the best I can do. Whenever I make another one in the future, probably do a bit better about that. Let me change the... Yeah, the floating. But it's whatever. There's not much to control there. Let me change the eyes a little bit. Because I actually don't like them looking rotated like that. So we're just going to make them normal looking. And then there, that's... we can make them smaller. No, we can't. Make them a little closer. Oh, probably shouldn't. Oh no, here's the smaller. There we go. Alright, and that is our Mimikyu. That one wasn't that bad. I do believe the Luxray looks better. I don't think it looks crazy, but I'll take this. I'll take this for a Mimikyu. It works. Into the Discord you go to be saved forever, because That's another hint. Since we're just doing these, we're not actually finalizing any of these, for the record. We're just making a practice. All right, so they want the Hisuian Zoroark. Oh goodness, this is gonna be, this is gonna be a bit more difficult than I thought, but we can work with this. We can work with it. I already have an idea for the bangs because it would be the one where there is one covering it. I'm not going to be able to do the eyes perfect justice. That's just not something I can do with how the eye colorations in this game work. I'm trying to find a good enough picture that would work properly. I mean, technically we have a good enough picture. Okay, to make it fit into our little thing on the side, I'm gonna have to turn the picture a bit, but it should still be fine. Bang. So that is Hisuian Zoroark. We are working on them now. They got a triangle head. They got a small triangle head. There isn't really... Bang. Small triangle head. So the closest we could do. Okay, hair. I already know the bangs. It's gonna be the bangs that will cover up... There are bangs that cover up an ear. Bang. I mean, not an ear, but a face. It's... The hair's not gonna be, like, super crazy wild, but we'll get close. We'll get close. And it's kind of like... of that. Maybe a little more like of that. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Let's try our best to make sure that the back is perfect though. It'll be the same sub color. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do the hair. Ooh. It's not crazy, but that might be our best option. That kind of works. That could work. There are a lot of these options that could actually work, at least to an extent. Which does actually surprise me. The hair's a little messy, so it's got to be a little bit of a messy hair. I don't know if there's anything that could do the top part enough justice. This one could work for just sheer hair volume. But it wouldn't quite fully represent how the hair works. I don't know. I think I kind of like it. I think this would work. I think this would work. It's this or, God, there was another one. Literally, it was this one. One of these two. This or this. I can make it like a this, so it's... Okay, we're going with this one. This is the best way that we could get the hair, like, more wild and out there. This is probably the best way we're going to be able to do it. I also got to get the skin color right, which does not directly match the hair. They are a little bit gray. It's one of these two. I think this is more cream than gray, so I think it's got to be this one. As for eyes, we might be able to do something decent. We can get rid of that. I could do the eye coloring in the background, but I'm not going to be able to make the eye yellow instead of white. I'm pretty sure we have a decent eye shape that we literally have a couple of good eye shapes, actually. Like, this could work. I can remove the this. Doesn't really have that. No, it does. It does, kind of. And the eye, I'm gonna have to get a little bit of a closer on the eye. It is just a red iris, which, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to do. Unless I could. No, I'm not gonna be able to change the coloration of that. So all I can really do is that. That's really the best I can do for making the eye look like the correct. Should probably make these go up a little more. Yeah, we could definitely get like the paint behind the eye correct. That one I don't believe we'll have any issues with, is the paint. What's the closest thing I could do to make this look a little better? It's definitely not any of this stuff. You know, I kind of like that. It doesn't really add anything correct, but I just like the look of it, so I'm gonna do it. Nose. They got a really smallish nose. Really just a little that, really. And they don't have a visible mouth, which we're gonna have to do something about that. We can just make it a really small that. Low-key, this kind of bangs already. Even without adding the paint in, this low-key kind of bangs. Do we have anything that could resemble what we're looking for? No, not really. We'll have to paint the little white parts on as well. Okay. Okay. So now we gotta get the paint around the eyes, which should not be too difficult. Do like that. There we go. I can see it perfect. Okay, great. We're just gonna have to really zoom in. This shouldn't be too bad though. Okay, we're gonna start with, it's a little bit of like a pale blue, like a pale dark blue. It kind of goes just kind of around like that. And then we get pretty much the red from the side of the hair, which we cannot get that exact red. A little bit of an issue, but we could do that. And it's going to be as close as possible. And we use this to trace around. Okay, it's got to be a little more vibrant than that. Let's... do all this. I think it's too big. I gotta make it smaller. And then we get just some white around it, pretty much. That's unfortunately incorrect. So we have actually had a Hisuian Zoroark on Pocket Survival. Some might forget because it's from our first season, Lugia's Reef, Amber. We stand Amber. Okay. For the eye weight makeup, that works. Now, we gotta get the little triangles. And that's my worry, is that it doesn't look correct jutting out. But we can adjust that as necessary. And I think it's gotta be stopping there. We could do like this to make it look like it's an ending part. Oh, that's got to be on both sides. The eye makeup also kind of should be on both sides. So, if that's everything... Oh, I still got to do the ears. Yeah. Yeah, I got to do the ears still. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the ears... How well the ears are going to look like whenever they're flipped. That might be the worst looking part. But we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We got to do the ears. Gotta do the ears. We were looking away from chat for a little bit, just to get the as much as I can the ear unshot. Okay. I might have to look away entirely just to really focus in on the ear. So I'm gonna be looking away for just a little bit. Messed up a little bit at the end there. Made it curve too much. It's much more faded out than that. I made this part too small. I'm gonna paint right over that. Start a second time. Oh, ma, that's awesome. Okay, and we just gotta get this, like, really dark purple, dark, kind of pale purple. That correct? That correct? A little paler. I'm curious, should I try to make this a little bigger? I think it'll work like that. All right. Let's get this mirrored. Okay, definitely some stuff to account for. First off, let's erase the little mirror parts. Let's definitely erase the eye makeup on this because the way it's glitching out doesn't look very nice to me. Better to keep that part without makeup. That should be it? Question mark? That might be it? And let's take a little bit of a look. Eye makeup is a little messy. On a redo, I'd probably make the getting the eye makeup more correct a little bit of a focus. Outside of that, this isn't bad. You know, I'm gonna try something with the ears a little bit. I'm curious if using this paint tool would be better. I don't think so. I like this. I think this works. I think this works. For Hisui and Zoroark, I believe this is cool. This is alright. This works. The more we go, I'm feeling a little bit more confident in how we're doing things, how we're rolling. I do believe of the 3 we've done, I would probably, from worst to best, rank them Mimikyu, Luxray, and then Hisui and Zoroark. Probably because Hisui and Zoroark required the least amount of paint, though. In terms of just focusing on the paint that I applied, I believe Luxray probably looks the best. All right. So now we're done with that. We should move on to another new Pokemon. Bang. All right, Parker, I hope that was good. I hope you enjoyed that. We are going to go ahead and go random now. So we're going to hit this randomize button. Bam. We're going to look at the top 5 options of Pokemon, and we're going to pick between those 5. If there are any Pokemon that we've already done, those will not be among the 5. We'll, like, add an extra. Okay. Wow. It's really picking those... It's really picking those Season 4 people. Okay. Our options are Nut, Nova, Pixie, Maria, and Zera. A lot of good options. Now, Vaporeon is one of the Pokemon that I tried earlier, and it didn't come out very good. So it could be cool to try to redeem it with a different. Between these five, I'm gonna go. I think about it. Have we even? Yeah, we haven't had a Season 2 character, have we? Nope, Xavier. We have had Xavier. We've had a Season 4 character. I'm considering just scrolling down until we get a Season 3 character. That's the only season that has not had representation. All right, we're gonna go down until we get a Season 3 character. Season 3. Wow. Okay. No, I don't want that one. Eevee? Eevee? We're gonna do Eevee. Alright, let me get a picture of the Eevee. Probably gonna be one of the easiest things to find a good front-facing picture of, because it's fucking Eevee. Yeah, its default face is a good enough front-facing picture. It's a default. This one specifically is based on Virginia from Pocket Survival 3. Season 3 of Pocket Survival, the most recently streamed season. And also the first boot of that season. This is so sad. Virginia, the Eevee. She is so old. She is so old. Hi, Zeka. Welcome back. All right. Bang. It's time to make Eevee. Well, starting out, we actually have a, like, this is pretty much the, no, this. Nope, that's not quite as I thought. We don't have any, all of the, this is probably the closest, even though it's a little too sharp. But that's probably the best one we got. This is way too wide. Hair. Oh, God. You can make, no, this is like a one, so we could always freestyle with the hair a little bit, but there isn't too much to freestyle with Eevee hair. Unless we want to make them like that one from the anime. There's a lot, man. A lot of styles. The hair isn't long, necessarily. We gotta keep that in mind. It's not very long. But we could also freestyle and have the hair be a little on the longer side. A little on the more frantic wild side. This is an old-ass hairstyle. It's like a little bit of floof on their head. I don't know about that. This might be the closest. We might, in that case, we might benefit from doing one that has very little bangs like that. But look, that looks ugly. It's so ugly. I like the idea that we don't have to go completely traditionally how Eevee looks, and we can add like a little bit of flair and style. Make the head smaller. That's not gonna really, there isn't really many smaller options. And it won't look ugly. That's not how it works. That is very much the one we had is one of the smaller options. No, that's fine. I like the idea that we can be a little bit transformative of the hair. And that it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what an Eevee would look like. Speaking of, let's get Eevee colors in here. That's too much. That's too little. The one below top left. Well, that is a little less helpful now that I've moved completely away from that screen. Is there just not really a good Eevee color? Eevee's head doesn't really taper. I mean, it kind of does. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there isn't really a very good Eevee color. This is probably the closest. It's going to be a really vibrantly colored Eevee. The one below top left. I don't like this because it's just too wide. The tan near yellow. Like this one? I don't know. This one? I guess a little. I don't know. I think it's too greenish. Yeah, that's just too greenish. This, I just don't really like. I just don't think it's really correct. Yeah, it's either too light or it's too dark. That is kind of the issue. Yes, we're making Granny. There isn't really a good color for Granny, though. Too dark is probably better. I do agree. So you're almost back. Welcome to almost back. Alright. Yeah, I guess you're right that this head probably works the best. Yeah, honestly, with the hair being the same color, this probably looks the best. Not this hairstyle, I mean. I do like having a little bit of interpretation for the hairstyle itself. Because it doesn't have to be completely perfect. There we go, Eevee with a little hair clip. That's kind of cute, low-key, kind of vibes. Kind of makes sense. I do not know if I'm going to be able to do the neck fluff. I'm going to be so full for real. That being said, the hair does not need to be long. The hair should still be short, but we can find a short style that works. I guess this would technically work. Oh my god. This probably would work the best. We're not really going to be able to get the poofy stuff there. Honestly, the only coloring we'll probably need to do are the ears. We'll probably just have to add the ears, and that's really all we can do, I'm pretty sure. Ears use the hair if you start putting some of the facial features in? Probably. Okay, so we got some tall eyes. The thing about this game, there are not many tall eyes that look good. But whatever eyes we pick, they're gonna be some big fucking eyes. Not that. It's sush the circle eyes. It's a little too small and too kind of beady looking. I guess we would add... Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think I would like that very much. Oh, no, I can make them bigger. God, look like a fucking creature from the Black Lagoon. Whatever that movie's called. Is there an additional spark? Can I add more than one sparkly thing? Incorrect. Now, if I could have this upside down. Nope. Put a wrinkle in the eye? No, I don't think you can move those. That gap, that. Maybe you can. Okay. Oh, you know what? You're right. This could work. This could work. We can't change the color. That's the problem. Cannot change the color. So unless we flipped the color so that the eyes were brown, yeah, that wouldn't really work. Yeah, I think that's out of the question. You can get the eyelashes. Perfect. Nose. They need the little baby nose. Bro, those shiners just make it look like they're always looking up, and I really don't like it. It makes them look so bad. We're not gonna be able to match the eyes perfectly. I'm gonna be so for real. That just looks so out. It just looks so out of it. Actually, genuinely dislike how that looks. Even though it's probably more accurate, it genuinely looks really bad. So I had to give her some normal eyes. You like it? I really don't. Maybe if I move this, since... Oh, oh God. You move it down just a little bit, it's terrifying. Don't like anything you ever make? Hey, I actually really like the Hisui and Zoro arc I made, man. I actually like that one. I am posting everything that I've made so far in the Island Tomodachi channel in the Pocket Survival Discord. So to see what we've missed, you can go right there. It's just so... I just don't fuck with it. But there really isn't anything else that works properly. Again, the eyes could also just be do a little bit of an artistic interpretation. Oh. They can still be big, don't worry. Looks bad. This is Gekwa. Ew. Oh god. Gek was your day one starter pick? Yeah, you have horrible taste. And that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. This might work. You like Froakie. Point proven. This could work? Question mark? Maybe? Let's get those brown eyes in there. Nah. Nah. Wait a second. Oh my god, this changes so much. That fixes pretty much all the flaws of the first iteration. That's just Eevee. And also, if I remove that, bang. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's actually just Eevee's eyes. Those are actually just Eevee's eyes. They should be bigger, but we can't really make them any bigger. That's just Eevee's eyes. Actually, these could be a little thinner. Separate them a bit more, you're probably right. Yeah. That might be too much. Actually, if the eyebrows were a little more separated so that they're a bit correct. Oh, this is Eevee. Their mouth should be a little thinner, but that's pretty much Eevee. Now we just have to add the ears. That is a Pokemon. Alright, now the ears are going to be the hardest part for me, I think. I think I'm going to do the worst with the ears. But we shall see. Because I never really have enough space to do the ears proper. Granny, her glasses. Oh, it's perfect. Maybe I'll give her glasses. We'll see. I can grab these. Very small ears. We're not going to be able to do really big ears for Eevee, unfortunately. I think the brown's got to be a little bit darker. Okay. Now we gotta mirror it. Thank you. Oh, there are layer numbers. What? That's interesting. Only 2 layers. It seemed like there were 3. On the image, at least, it seemed like there were 3 layers. That could help quite a bit. Eyes, and you definitely found the definitively best eyes. I got really lucky. Pretty much, I realized whenever you go to the eyes, if you set the eye color first, you can see the previews in here. So it was pretty much the right beside the circle eye is what I found. Bang. And it was just perfect. Perfect. Everything. And then you remove the little thing up here, little nub, and it's perfect. And you add the little sparkle right here, and it's perfect. This is just Evie. This is Virginia. Her name is Virginia. She's Evie. She is adorable. What the hell? There's monocles. Whoa. Sunglass monocle. How did you have that? Yeah. Because you can do a lot of customized and creative stuff. So like you could flip through here, you can add stuff, and if there's stuff on, you can subtract it. It's the same with the hair where you have the sets, but then you can also set between the bangs and the back, which also adds a lot more creativity. All right. I gotta find some granny glasses. Yep, these are granny glasses for sure. Those are grandpa glasses. Those are aunt glasses. About using the beards to add neck fluff. Beard could work. Let me look into beards. See if there's one that, like, makes a lot of sense here. Because the only issue is it would not go around. That's, like, the main problem. And then you have the ones that go, like, all the way up everything, and those are kind of problem childs of their own. Okay. Cream. That would be, like, just this. And this would kind of work, but I don't, again, it going up like that does not do any favors. Yeah, unfortunately. Whoa, what the fuck? No. 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 I have to move up the mouth. That might not be a bad idea. I could try to see what I can do. But then the problem is now I have to get the color exactly fucking right because it's just not here. And that's ever so slightly different. Has to be like a little more yellowish. Nope, that's wrong, actually. The problem is the bricks. For a scarf. Yeah, I mean, it probably is the best, unfortunately. Yeah, I just got to give Granny a scarf at some point. And she's gonna never be allowed to take it off. Do the scarves even come in the correct color is the problem. They might not. Alright. This is probably the best one so far. This is probably the best one so far. Bang. My only issue really is that all the ears are super small and stuff, but there isn't really much I could do about that. All right. Anyone have any suggestions for another? Any new suggestions? Preferably pocket survival Pokemon, not required though. Nova? I don't know. It would be all face paint. Also, I wouldn't be able to get him too well, but I could try. Let's give it a shot. Or Hayden or Suloshi. Alright, I'll look into Hayden or Sakoshi after this if someone reminds. But we'll go ahead and do Nova right now. Alright, well, first things first, we need a circle. Bang. I think this is going to be a full face paint character. I'm going to be so far. I think he needs to be bald. It's a little darker. Alright, I'm stretching. Okay, I stretched. Alright, I hydrated. This would be the best for Nova, I think. Everything's gonna be like a little bit darker and everything. Yeah, no, Nova's gonna have to be a full face paint. We're gonna be spending all of our time in the tool zone. Actually, we could do his eyes. We could do his eyes. We could do his eyes. His eyes are possible. Because it's easy. We wouldn't be able to make them quite as... No, we would be able to. No, because it's... Honestly, that doesn't really do his eyes justice. Yeah, we'll just make him full-on fresh. Alright, blank canvas. One thing is, this is not completely black. It's like... almost completely black. It's like a that. We're gonna use shapes. So, well, one thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go to the skin color and then just make it like a darker of that. Probably paler, maybe. Nah, it has to be a little more visible. That works, I think. That works. I think that's a pretty good color. Wait for a switch to original we can use mouse controls. That'll be nice. Now, one thing I know is in handheld mode, you can apparently use a whatchamacallit, a touchscreen, touchpad thing. You use the touch controls. I can't get that quite right, so I'm just gonna make a new one. I'm gonna take all of this and just like move it a bit over to the side. You do is make the parts really bad to get it all right, then just shrink it all on the sides. Yeah. We're gonna do the cracks around last. Probably should have moved, did the other side first to the face. And I still can. Oh, only the right eye has it? Too bad. No, I'll correct it in a sec, I guess. Alright, and that's not done. I still have to do the cracks. Yeah, that's correct. All right. That's Nova. That is that's pretty much every feature of his. So there we go. That's the best I could do. Wait, this game released. No, the game hasn't released yet. It's just the demo. Hi, content. We're making Pokemon. That's fucking Minior. The 16th. Yes, that is correct. And we're going to be having a Pocket Survival Island. So that's going to be awesome. The more I practice, the more confident I am in the skills. So this is working. All right. Well, mini or done. Does anyone else have any suggestions for Pokemon? Content, since you just got here, do you have any? Or nah? Anyone else can also offer suggestions as well. So far, we've made Luxray, Mimikyu, Hisuian, Zoroark, Eevee, and Minior. I'm not too sure how many else will go, but I don't know. The more I practice, the better I feel with the creator in the game. I still don't think they're very good, but, you know, they work. For what they are, I feel like they're pretty alright. I think Eevee was pretty good, though. And Gengar? Oh, I'll do it again. I'll do Gengar. I'll do Gengar. Hell yeah. This one should be easy. I think aside from the red eyes, I don't think I'll be able to do the bloodshot red eyes, but that's it. Everything else is very doable for Gengar. Gengar is probably one of the easiest Pokemon you could have given me. I'll take it. Yeah, the only way I would be able to do the red eyes is if Gengar wasn't allowed to blink. I happen to know that Gengar could baby blink. Potentially. Let's give him like a really big head. What's the biggest head we could give him? I think it's just this. Yeah, I think this is the biggest one. Let's make sure we get Gengar purple. It's a little dim. It's definitely this one. Suppose we haven't gotten a Gengar character in Pocket Survival. Yeah, no one submitted one either. It's kind of crazy. Maybe in a future season, who knows? Now he's got like a really rippled back kind of deal, so I could do that. Yeah, these bangs no longer are doing it with that style. I think it just has to be this. That's I could do. Man's got no brows. Man's got no brows. I know these are the eyes I see. There's got to be ones that are a little closer to that, to his actual eyes. It's got to be like top is the straight and then rounded bottom. I don't think there are many that are actually like that. That's kind of close, I guess. I'd have to remove the little wrinkle at the bottom, which is not bad, not hard. It's not. Use one of the irises that's too big, but set the color to red. It kinda works. No, it doesn't really work for him because he has the slanted eyes. I'll remove the nose. I try to go in order, but yeah, let me remove the nose. One that's shaped like his eyes. Okay, what do you mean with the iris that's too big? There's a million different irises, and quite a lot of them are very big. Is it on this set? Is it on these top rows or no? Do you mean this? And just take off the extra features? No. Okay, well then which one is it? Oh my god! He's so sad. Because the irises are too big. Well, I don't know which ones you're talking about. In like the middle. Oh, this works. This could work. This could work. He has a little splash of white in there. A really small splash of white. Yeah, I'll separate them in a sec. I probably have them too big anyway. A little bit smaller. That's pretty good. I can also paint the eyes in the thing. What do you mean? So the problem with painting the eyes in the face paint thing is that then he just can't blink. He just won't look correct whenever he blinks, so that's kind of the issue. This is probably the closest in terms of eyes that we're going to get to it. It was a little unfortunate, but... Like, this is for funsies, so I don't gotta worry about it right now unless you wanna. It is something I have to think about in the future. Most people have been doing it by choosing the eyes they want, then completely drawing over those eyes, including whites of people's, and then switch the eyes that he actually has to dots. So they still have a functioning pupil and don't blink weird. Oh no, I still feel like that would blink weird, at least on Gengar, because then he just has these big red eyes and then just the pupils blink, which doesn't really make sense. I do feel like this is the closest that we'll be able to get to it, in my opinion. I do have to draw the ears on, but that's pretty much all that's left. Yeah, I do feel like this is all we can get. Oh, if there's ever a Gengar in Pocket Survival, we know how to make it. Alright, let's draw those ears. Which should be fairly simple. It's just two big triangles. He's such a goofy goober. He is silly. Alright, I'll hydrate in a sec. Wow, that's so mean. Boom. That's Gengar. Ah. Alright. Hydrating now. Alright. This is the best we could do for Gengar. I'm not sure if content's there, so I'm gonna send it to him just to be safe. I'll betting. Everyone's favorite Pocket Survival contestant, Gengar. We love him. Alright, I'm gonna do another. I'm not sure if this will be my last one or not. We'll see. So let's do at least one more, maybe further past that if I'm still feeling it. Anyone have any other suggestions? If not, I can go to the randomizer. I'm so excited for this game. Skuntank? I could do Skuntank. Oh, I could do my best on Skuntank. Is this the best front-facing picture of Skuntank? That's such a weird picture. Yeah, it seems to be my best option. Alright, we're going Skun. Alright, let's see here. He's got a short rounded face. Pretty short face. Short king, short king. Do we have anything that could possibly resemble that fucking push forward mohawk thing? Do we have anything like that in this game? This might be the closest thing. But we'll keep looking. Let's get the colors proper. I believe technically it would be the purple, and then the sub color would be the cream. It's actually more like kind of like that actually. Yeah, that's more accurate. Right now, this seems to be the most accurate thing. Let's see if there's anything that can push out a little further. That does not look correct. Yeah, it might just be this one. Alright, that's what we're gonna go with. Brows. Don't need them. Eyes? I mean, he's got pretty simple standard eyes. Just a circle, really. Maybe slightly ovular. I don't like this. This is too circle. There's like a little bit of a roundness to it. That's not... There's like a little bit of a not so perfect to it. Like the 7 Chinese skins in Legendary CS. Alright, fair. Well, there aren't really any good pictures. Yeah, there aren't really many good pictures of Skuntank's face. Is that jet out part of anything? It is. Alright, I can make these like a bit bigger and higher up. He's just gonna have to have really big features. Wait, what am I doing? And then we'll draw the player parts on. We'll probably draw the nose on too, because it's not really a traditional. Add part of his hair poof with the makeup and connect them together. It won't quite work well enough like that because of how the makeup works. Technically, because the makeup is like slightly off of the face, it's a little awkward like that. And there's much I'd be able to add on top. I can have it come down a little bit, but I don't know if it'll look proper. I don't think it will, but I could try. I don't think that looks quite right. The hair sticking as well. I don't know. Well, maybe, maybe not. Who knows? It's probably better to just draw the little thing like that completely rather than have that be his mouth, just because I don't think it's going to work quite well like that. And unless I do it like this could work, but it's not as puffy-outy. Yeah, I'll just make his mouth and then I'll do the paint over it. I might have to have it so that the face paint goes over the eye features instead of below to make pretty much any mouth work, which is gonna make things harder because then I have to be extra careful around the eyes. Maybe I could test how these fucking layers work. Okay. Let me get cream color real quick. Let's say we're to do it like that. And then I go and I select. Now it's on the top layer. That didn't change anything. Yes, you can only have either the paint go behind or on top. Yeah, I know that. I know that. No, it doesn't seem like you can change which layer it's on, though, in terms of the actual stuff. I feel like it seems like for all of the paint, you can only do above or below. You can't do both. So I just have to be careful with the orange around the eyes. Yeah, that's kind of how I was worried it would look. And it might still be fine. Yeah, that's completely out of the question, bad. That doesn't work at all. I'm gonna have to move the eye, see if I can just move the eyes all the way up there. Oh. Well, it's gonna be really big and weird looking, but and I guess it's technically gonna be the most accurate. I'll have to move his mouth up a bit more. Actually, wait, let's go back again. Because I might be able to stretch them out. Yeah, I guess they'll stretch them out. There we go. That's a little better. It's a very vibrant looking orange. It might even just be this orange. Oh, yeah, wait, no, I'm being stupid, right? Because it goes over the features. That's the problem. Okay. Let me test the theory. It's a little more like on the redder side. What if for the eyes you use the blush on the beard tab? That might work. No, that's not gonna work. It's a little too faded out. You can't really change that part. Alrighty, sounds good. Okay. So what I'm looking to test right now is if I can do all of this stuff on the underlayer first, and then set it to be paint on bottom, and see if it changes anything. See if it changes the progress I've already made, or if it does actually count as like 2 separate layers. Nope. That's fantastic. Yes, and I just have to be super careful with how I paint, really. Oh, this is just what he fucking looks like. Yeah, it's looking alright. And that might just be the best that we can do for a Xander. Oh, we got to do eyes, not eyes, ears. Yeah, that's what I'm working on too. I'm not really big on Covenant Underpants. Not really. It's never did my thing. This might be the best we can do for Xander. Unfortunately. He's just kind of a really hard one to get super good. I don't even know how this would look in the normal game. All right, let's make this the last one. And just because I'm curious about how it'll look in the normal game, we'll jump into the normal game with this guy for a little bit. Okay, great. Well, thank you. All right, let's jump into the game just to see how this looks. He's big and he's not super tall. He's like around here. Yeah, yeah.
My name is Xander.
Cool. I'm just curious how the hell this looks in the game. Oh my god. Lore? Character lore? Yes. This is not his real birthday or age. I just picked something.
My name is Xander.
I'm just kind of picking just a bunch of random shit. Whoa. Alright, let's see how he looks in the normal game. I can turn this picture off. I guess it works. Yeah, I guess this works. Right, I just picked the default name. I don't know, man. Host? Yeah, you're right. For the record, this is not the start of actual Pocket Survival Island. All of the demo practice islands I've made, none of them are going to actually translate into my actual island. For the record. What is it? Oh my god, host birthday? Chat, host birthday is question mark? Alright. Yeah, I guess this works. It's alright, I guess. if it isn't the consequences of my actions. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, wow. Who knows the deep lore of the host? Of course, of course. Well, I mean, I would know it, but okay. I'm excited for the full game. Ooh. All right. This seems cool. It seems all right, I guess. As in this part of the tutorial. All right. We will. All right. He's got to shout the name of Anything Goes Island. I skipped this question mark. No. He is here. The boy. Ah, it's time. Yay, Fake Island. Let's go. All right. We might do another one of these sessions before the game comes out. Not too sure. Who knows? Maybe at the tail end of community night might do a couple more. Probably not though. I don't think I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow. Past that, it will be next week. The game comes out literally on Thursday. Ooh, I'm gonna have to stream Thursday. Oh no, technically Wednesday night, Thursday morning. It would be coming out Wednesday at midnight. So technically, what we could do is I could start streaming at like 10, and then we could do like 2 hours of practicing me creation, and then open up the actual island at the time. Yeah, it was okay stream. I will take this time. I guess I could show you guys the other me's I've made in the past. I'm gonna open up my main account. These are the first 3 that I made. This was my first experience in the game, and you can tell it was my first experience because I didn't realize that if you went too far, then your Tomodachis would be lobotomized. So my Tomodachis have been lobotomized. They don't know what to say. Now, I don't know, the face paint's okay, but the issue is I only added the features on, so if you look at it at any wrong angle, it's like, eh. And I also didn't incorporate any hair into any of these 3. So they're just all basically bald with face masks. Okay, you can stop running around, guy. This is kind of how it's been there. The same with the skits over here. Big skits. And we also made Florigata. And yeah, you could tell really bad with Florigata. Yeah, they look
Haven't seen you in a little while. Piss boy.
Ari. What the fuck? That's what I named me? That's crazy. I don't even remember what the name of the island was.
Different markets will be open in the morning, at noon, and at night.
I think Florigato of the trio looks the best, but the way that the face paint is detached, you can clearly see how fake the ears and everything are.
Am I a genius?
It's like, what do you mean you influenced me? You wouldn't do it if it was so funny.
This is amazing.
This is amazing. Playing rhythm game, I think. Yeah, rhythm game. Just Dance. So that's my lobotomized island. I'll show you my other Pokemon island, which I've made a grand spanking one Pokemon on. What did I name this island? I don't know. I don't even remember what I named any of the islands. Kino to Tomodachi, of course. This is where I made Torchic. I feel like this is like the first like actually really decent one I made that incorporated hair. No, it's like the second. I have a third island I'm going to show off, but it is not Pokemon themed. I guess the two people here would know what it's about, so it's not a big deal. So this is Torchic, kind of the only person that exists here. They've just kind of been alone with their thoughts, hoping for someone else to show up for about a week. Like this if you cry every time. Gundam? It is not Gundam. It is something that all three of us actually have in common. Which is not Gundam. Gundam is ass. Ha ha ha. Yeah. It's the Fabulous Beasts. This is where I feel like I got the hang of face painting, but there was still stuff that didn't really quite click. Like, Tsubushang, I genuinely feel like he has really good face paint. However, question mark, he's bald. And so it ruins the illusion quite a bit to just turn around. But I could probably remake a Tsubushang and do significantly better. Tianlu has just the best of the face paints, I think, of these. The face paint's really cool, except you can really noticeably see where the face paint cuts off and the actual face begins on the bottom side. And also, his horns are the mohawk. Tianu's probably one of the better looking ones here. And then there's also Tuye, who I think is pretty good. Oh, yes. Tianlu has a very big crush on Tuye here. Massive crush. And Tuye walks gaily. And these Miis aren't lobotomized yet, so they can technically hang out and do stuff.
Simply hilarious.
I could go force them to do some shit right now if I wanted to. Where's Tonlo? Dude. Ga. Talk to your crush.
Tianlu, good evening. Oh, well, it's Tuye. Linux for Linux Team fan. Yeah. Death and battle frenzy. Yeah, but Planet Jam over Pred and Violet that logo clap. Real Hingle Maximal.
Yes.
Nah, Ilion and Chippy. Single chat extra. Remo.
Yes.
Yeah. Shannon grab a back snap. Oh, Tressy window.
But yes, Tianlu, I didn't get to record the moment it happened, but he has a big ol' crush on Tuge.
Shannon grab a back snap.
Which is very funny.
Death and battle frenzy. Oh, Tressy window.
Alright. Oh, that's that. We might get another creation session in before the game comes out. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? I just know next week, once the game comes out, I'm going to be playing a lot of it. I'm actually really happy because next week in general is just really awesome for me. Because I work my 3 days from the 12th to the 14th, and then late night the 15th, the game comes out, and I'm gonna be playing that a lot of the week. And then there's WrestleMania that weekend, and I got April 19th, Sunday off as well. So I have a 5-day weekend with Tomodachi Life coming out, so that's gonna be so sick. All right, but yeah, that's gonna be the game. Oh, I'm so good at face paint. Oh, thank you. I've been trying to get better at it, so thank you. I do appreciate the comment. That's gonna be it for tonight. So thank you guys for coming into it again. I'll see you guys next stream. So until then, bye bye.